In this video, we're going to go over the Roman number system, or Roman numerals. So there are 8 different symbols that they had in the Roman numerals. Those are: the letter I represents 1, V represents 5, X represents 10, L represents 50, C represents 100, D represents 500, and M represents 1000. So, the Roman numeral system is what's called a positional system. And what that means is order matters. There are some number systems out there where no matter what order you write the characters in, you still get the same number. It doesn't matter at all. And it seems kind of odd to us because, like, we're used to the Arabic numerals where 2,555 is different than 5,255 because we wrote those numbers in a different order. So it's a positional system that the order matters in, and there are a few rules to it. No symbol, may be used, more than 3 times in a row. Another rule we have is V, L, and D. Notice these are ones ending, that start with a 5. May only be used once. Alright, so let's look at how we would write the numbers 1 through 10 in this system. So we'll write the Arabic numerals above them: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So number 1's easy enough, that's just I. 2, we would just put 2 ones together, so we would have 2. And 3 would be 3 I's. So with 4, you would think it would be 4 I's in a row, but the thing is, we have this rule up here. It says no symbol may be used more than 3 times in a row. So with 4, you would have to use what's called the subtraction principle. So we would write a 5, and then we would subtract 1 from it. This can be read as 1 subtracted from 5, or 5 minus 1, however you want to think about it. Either way, it equals 4. With 5, we're on track again. 6 would be 5 plus 1. 7 is 5 plus 2. 8 is 5 plus 3. And with 9, we can probably just use the subtraction principle again. So we would write X and I. So in that case, we have xi, or 1 subtracted from 10, which gives us 9, and we would have x for 10. So there is another rule. Only one number may be subtracted from another. So you would think a alternative way to represent 8 would be IIX, because that would be 2 subtracted from 10. But that's wrong, because there's 2 I's being subtracted from 1 X. We can't do that. So 8 has to be written VIII and not IIX. So let's go over a few examples of other numbers, and just so we get some practice representing different numbers in the system. Let's say like 152. To represent 152, first we need 100, so we'll say C for 100. We need 50 more, so we'll put an L there. And for 2, we need that. So that number is 152. Let's say we want like 690. This one may look a little bit weird, but everything here is going to be right. So we would want AD for 500. We need 100 more, that'll give us 600. And then how do we represent 90? Let's think about this. We can have 100 and subtract 10 from it. So 90 would be XC. So 690. Now notice we have an X between the two C's. Now it looks kind of odd, or it may not look odd to you, it does to me, but that is correct. That's 100, 600, minus 90. So, I'm sorry, 600 plus 90. So that number is 690. Let's go with a few more numbers. Let's say we want to represent 3,888. This number is kind of annoying to write out because it's so long. It's pretty short in Arabic numerals, but for Roman numerals there's a lot of addition we have to do for it. Well, 3,000 can be represented by 3 M's, so that'll get us to 3,000. Now let's look at the D's. We definitely need 500 more, so we'll write D there. So that's 3,500. We need a few more hundreds, so let's write a few C's. That's 3,800. And then we need to write 88. Now, let's just think on our own. How would we write 88? Well, we'd have to have an L for 50, so we'll get an L in there. We need a few X's, so that L gives us 50. We need 3 X's to bring that 50 to 80. We need a V and 3 1's. So that number right there is 3,888. If you want to see more examples of ways to write numbers with the Roman numeral system, just see me go through a video where I just convert a bunch of random numbers to Roman numerals. Let me know and I'll do that for you. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry, I forgot this. Think about what they would have to do if they want to represent a really big number. Because we can only have the same thing 3 times in a row, we can only get numbers so big here. Well, if they want to represent, like, 5,000, they don't have a symbol for that. Something that was commonly done, which I'm not sure if it was ever considered standard notation, but it was used quite a bit, would be the number 5 with a line over it. That line over top meant times 1,000. So we'll set that equal to 5,000. V equals 5. So let's say they want to use something where they need the line and they need regular numbers. Let's say they want to represent 5,002. Well, the way they would do that is they would write 5,000, and then they would just write the 2 separately, and that 2 wouldn't have a line over it. So this number right here would be 5,002.